wanted to take a quick moment and let you know that I'm Stephanie with Down Dog Yoga Center, and I will be right here during tonight's practice. So if you need any help at all, or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out using that chat feature, and I would be more than happy to help. With that out of the way, we are going to have Jeremy open up his mic, and we will get class started. Beautiful, your mic is open. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, yogis, and happy Wednesday, or a Wednesday to you. And a Wednesday or a week it has been. It really has. We've had a year in the last 3 months, and then a month in the last week of things happen. Sorry, I just realized my music is very much too loud. Sorry about that. I could tell right away. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully that's a little bit better. So today's class, we're going to move very gently. I invite you to move as you need and listen to your body. We'll do a warm-up that is really grounding. It's a little different warm-up than I sometimes do. And then we'll get into 3 sequences that are a blend of Tai Chi and yoga, and I'll talk us through those 3 sequences. And then we'll get down to the floor and do the restorative part. So it'll feel like a little bit of a mountain, starting low, coming up and building some heat. That's the yang part of the practice, and bringing it back down. And as I mentioned, I encourage physical listening to your own body. So you attend to your needs physically, but as we get into the yin part of the practice later, I encourage you to listen to your breath and allow the mind to clear and work on that sustainable, clear mind, so that we have our mental faculties with us later when we need them, for social activism and all the other things we need. Let's begin standing today. Or you could be unseated. This could be done seated or standing. Really, it's up to you. If you're seated, cross your legs, or maybe fold legs underneath you. If you're standing, take a wide-legged stance. If your legs are wide, bend the knees, but send energy up the spine. And your hands will begin palm up, right about at the waist. As you inhale, let the arms rise or the hands rise to about shoulder height. Turn the palms down as you exhale. Gently press the hands down toward the pelvis. Inhale, the hands float up. Exhale, the hands sink down. Begin to find your own breath rhythm and allow the movement of your hands to reflect the movement of breath in the body. And while the movement has focused on the hands, coordinating with the breath, you may begin to feel this in the shoulders, maybe in the armpits, like they were filling up with air and floating the hands up, maybe even in the back. The breath is still light and easy, but it's becoming more full. The breath is beginning to energize your body by taking in air molecules around you. The hands are also beginning to stir the air molecules. You could imagine a thickness in the space around you. Whether you're standing or seated, come to a seat on your mat. And we'll lay all the way down. We'll begin with the feet on the floor, knees toward the sky. Your hips, ribs, and head are resting on the floor. And you're using your feet to create a little heel rock. So there's a pushing action from the feet that enables you to slide your torso up and down, and you feel this rocking sensation through the body. As you're doing this, your chin is nodding, reflecting the rocking motion, almost like a sine wave traveling through the body. The feet push, and the hips push back, creating this rocking back and forth sensation. And you're welcome to return to a big full breath rhythm as if your hands were floating up and floating down while you're doing this somewhat vigorous rock. You're welcome to keep the legs here or extend your legs long. You can pause for a moment, the rocking sensation. And now with your feet flexed, you kind of have to dig your heels in, rock. So again, the movement is coming from the feet. There's a pushing action from the heels that creates a rock through the pelvis, through the ribs, and your chin is reflecting that by nodding up and down at the rhythm of your rock. One more big breath in. And a breath out. Now I find for the next exercise, gently let the rocking rest. My mat sometimes is in the way. I'll try it once with the mat and see if it works. Nope, my mat gets caught. So you might, like I'm doing, slide off the mat or slide the mat to the side or fold up the bottom half of your mat. So you're just using the carpet or floor underneath you. The legs are long, and you may place your hands on your pelvis. Direct the heel toward your sitting bone. As you do that, the knee bends, pointing up to the sky. And then you send your heel back down. This is called thigh lift. You lift the thigh, bringing your heel to the sitting bone. Now you're on the other side, and lower it down. So we're alternating legs. Sliding the heel in, using the low abdomen to move the leg, and sliding the heel out. Exhale to bring the knee in, and to extend the knee out. Very slowly moving the femur up and down, focusing on the efficiency of the movement. One more time, thigh lift on the right, thigh lift on the left. Lift both thighs, sliding the feet in. And now from this position, we thigh lift again, alternating. Right leg lifts and left leg lifts. As you do this, the pelvis is very stable. The movement comes from deep in the low abdomen. There's a little muscle, the iliopsoas, that almost works like a fishing pole to lift the knee and lower the knee. You imagine your hands were the muscle and your femur is the fishing pole. That's an image that helps you engage the muscle accurately and efficiently. One more time right, and one more time left. Excellent. Forward pelvic lift. Hands are by your hips pressing down. Press your hips up toward the sky. Inhale, the hips float down. Exhale, the hips up. Inhale, the hips down. On your own breath, exhaling up, And inhaling down. 2 more. Excellent. Rest with your hips on the floor. Pause for a moment. Now we do a similar movement. It'll look like a lowercase letter M with your pelvis. And you may take your arms out to a T position. You lift your hips off the floor, move your pelvis over to the right, keeping your knees where they are, then lower your hips down. Both hips are pressing down onto the floor equally, even though they're asymmetrical to the feet. Then lift your hips back up, move them back to center and replace. That was one half of our letter M. Now we'll go the other side. Lift the hips, move them to the left and press them down. Your tailbone is lined up with your left heel. Lift the hips again, move them back to center and press them down. Now we'll do this just a little faster. Lift the hips, slide them to the right, exhale, press them down. Lift the hips, slide them to center, press them down. I gave the breath cue incorrectly. Exhale on the lift. Exhale, lift. Inhale, slide. And press. Lift, slide center, and press. One more time. Lift, slide right, and press. Lift, slide left, and press. Extend your legs. Extend your arms above head so you're in something like a big X. I'm going to demonstrate this one standing. Draw your right knee to your right elbow. Aerial view, you'd look like a gecko, bringing your elbow to the knee, and then extend the right leg and right arm back to neutral. Second side, draw the left elbow to the left knee, engaging the obliques, keeping the ribs and hips on the floor, and then extend left leg and right arm. Contract the right side, bringing right elbow to right knee. The left side is lengthening as you do that. And then switch. Lengthen the right side and come back to neutral. Shorten the left side to bring your elbow to the knee, and then lengthen the left side. Now my cues are encouraging you to engage through the core of the body. So you're using your obliques and the deep core muscles to move your spine into this side bend, and then you extend back out, back to neutral, again to the left, and to the right. Last time, exhale on the work. Inhale on the return. Exhale on the work. Inhale on the return. Slide your feet up again. Adjust yourself as you need it. That moved my shirt around a lot. Knee drop. Drop your knees to the right. Let your ribs stay heavy on the floor, particularly your left rib. Exhale, from the center of your body, bring the knees back up to vertical. Drop your knees to the left, and they can drop with weight. You can just release them and let them fall. The right shoulder is still heavy. As you exhale, deepen your low abs, and that brings your knees back up. We go again to the right, drop. Exhale, pull the knees back up with the core. The knees drop left. Exhale, pull the knees back up with your core. Adding on just a little detail, drop your knees to the right and look to your left. Then reach your left arm up toward the corner like there was something there that you wanted. Exhale, come back to neutral. So the hand softens and your knees return. Knees drop to the left. Roll your head over to the right, looking to the right hand, and then reach. For me, I'm reaching toward the plant, and I'm intentional about the reach. There's purpose in my reach As I exhale, I gather myself back to neutral. Again, knee drop with a reach. Look left and reach your hand away from the knees, feeling this long diagonal spiral through the body, an efficient spiral. Exhale from the core, you return to neutral. And knee drop left. Reach to the right, looking to the right. And exhale to return, adding on one final step. And now you may have a space issue, but I think I can help you accommodate. Knee drop to the right, look to the left hand. Circle your left arm above head. Your eyes are following your circle. You'll roll over and keep your left arm going. Keep the left arm reaching behind you. It's on the floor as it slowly pulls you back to neutral. Your arm did a full circle, 360 degrees. If that didn't happen for you, take a moment and readjust. We'll do the other side. Knee drop. Look left. Follow your hand in a circle. Above head, the hand stays on the floor the whole time, except for this moment when it slides over your hip, and then put your hand back on the floor and use that connection to the floor to unwind you back to neutral. Very easily. Don't try to pull and lift the hand. Soften. Let the hand be on the floor as you return. Again, drop the knees to the right. Look left. Circle. Keep circling. The hand stays on the floor. It comes up and over the hips and finds the floor again. And then you return to your back. The knees rise. Again to the left. Look to the right and circle. Keep the circle going. It finishes and you unwind. One more. Drop right. Circle. Look left to begin your circle. The left arm continues. The body unwinds. And drop right. Sorry, drop left, look right. I'm so sorry, my directions are challenging. And the right arm takes over, bringing you back to your back. Take a moment to pause on the floor. Breathe. We're coming up to standing in the next 2 or 3 breaths. Roll to one side. You could even do an arm circle to bring you up to standing, and come to standing as easily as you can. Adjust your mat. And we'll go into our first sequence. Hopefully the body is a little warm. Those are the basic body motions. Thigh lift, heel rock connecting to the floor, to our pelvis, side to side motion in the hips, and rotation in the spine. So here we are. We'll use the wide edge of the mat, the long edge of the mat. The hands, as I mentioned before, work with the energy of the space around you. We warmed that idea up with our breathing. Let's re-warm up the palms of our hands. Rub the hands together vigorously, generating just a little heat through friction. Then shake your hands out. And then squeeze. Gather the energy in the center of your palms. Dig your fingers into the center of your palms. And then spread the hands out and feel that stretch. Imagine your hand like an eye opening. And as our eyes take in light, our hands take in energy to our body. Here we are. We'll begin with a fingers touching. We'll come back to this mudra where there's some space for the hand, for the palms. So there's this almost like suction-like energy in the palm of the hands. Reach your arms up, gathering energy from the space around you. Turn your feet and legs out as you lower the hips, pressing out to the side. Dip forward, turning the toes back to the front edge of your mat. Turn your right toes out. Open your left arm, rotating away from the leg you just moved, and close. Bring the right foot in. Left side, turn the toes out. Open your right arm, rotating your spine, and close. Turn the left toes back in. Palms are up, gathering energy from the earth. Turn the palms, invert, and press energy to the sky. Dive forward, big reach forward, hinging from the hips. Then drop your pelvis down, sweeping the torso up. Dive forward again. Palms down this time. Pull energy up from the earth. Feel it rise through the body from the feet to the head. And then bring that ball of energy back down in front of the pelvis. Remembering this Asta Mudra, this gesture. It's not a gesture of communication, it is energy. It does symbolize the energy in your body, but it's also an energy force that we can create and manipulate. So try to imagine or create a bit of energy in the palm of your hands right now. Round 2. Sweep arms up. Turn your legs out and press. Dive forward. Toes point forward. Turn your right toes out. Open left arm. Close. Switch. Left toes out. Open right arm. Close. Bend your knees as you gather energy. Palms up, it rises to the heart. And then invert your palms, press to the sky. Dive forward. Drop your hips. And dive forward again. Palms down, draw energy up through the body. And collect energy in the center of the body. The Dantian, called in Chi philosophy. It's a reservoir of energy here in our pelvis. Third round. Arms up. Turn the feet out and press. Hinge forward. Right toes out. Open your left arm. Close. Switch. Close. Palms up. Invert the palms and press. Dive forward. Drop your pelvis, torso up. And dive forward. Palms down, draw energy up through the body. And regather. Toe heel your feet underneath you so you're standing. The hands can have a small space, and you can imagine a filament of energy between your fingers. Maybe give that ball of energy a color. Our second round, warrior advances and retreats. We'll go back to using our mat the long way. Beginning by standing on our left leg, we'll lift the right. Arms shoot above head, and you can squeeze the hands together or just press them together in prayer. Then you step back, drawing energy into the pelvis. You pivot toward the back of your mat and press. So it's always opposite arm and leg pressing. You do that again. Pivot back to the front and press. Third time. Pivot and press. Low retreat. Sweep the arms across the body. High retreat, the arms circle down and up. You step to the back of the mat, onto your right leg. The arms can shoot above head. And then you stand, bringing the hands back to the pelvis. Second side, facing the back edge of your mat, left leg lifts. Step it back, gather the energy into the pelvis and push. Gather, pivot, and push. Third time, gather and press. Low retreat. Sweep the arms across the body. Circle the arms down to up, and your pelvis circles. Step to the front of your mat, and this can be one giant step or many little steps. And recover. Hands back to the front of your pelvis. Round 2. Give myself just a little more space. Here we are. Right leg lifts, sweep that energy above head, then pull the energy into the pelvis, pivot and press. Gather, pivot and press. Gather, pivot and press. Low retreat. High retreat. Step to the back of your mat, onto one leg or onto two, yogi's choice, and recover. Second side, left leg lifts. Step it back, gather, pivot, and press. Gather, pivot, press. Gather, pivot, press. Low retreat. High retreat. Step to the front of your mat. And recover. Offering a note about my instructions, we talked about this ball of energy. We take it above head, feeling this pull. Imagine if you had a rope. I have a demonstration tool that had 2 knots at the end. Imagine in that moment that you're pulling, one knot is here at the base of the spine, and the other one is your hands extending up. You have that extended line of energy, then you gather it into the belly. It becomes tight, strong, and powerful. You pivot, so the gathering is a direction for the core, gathering the energy in. Pivot is a direction for your feet. You pivot on the ball of your feet, coming high onto the ball of the back foot. And then press is an action for your whole back. And I should say, press also has a pulling component. You can't have yang without yin, sun without moon. So while one hand is pressing, the other hand is pulling. But maybe we'll consider those on our third time through. Sweep your arms up. Gather, pivot, and press. Don't forget the pull. Push, gather, push, pull. Gather, pivot, and push, pull. Low retreat. High retreat. Step to the back of your mat. Recover. Second side, left leg. Gather, pivot, press. Gather, pivot, press. Third time. Low retreat. High retreat. Step to the front of your mat. Recover. Bring your hands down to the front of your pelvis. Soften your knees, soften your hips, so all the joints are soft and supple, kind of in this at the ready position, as if you were a volleyball player. You could direct your step anywhere. And close your eyes. And imagine the ball of energy between your hands and the ball of energy that lives within your pelvis, spreads throughout your body. Our last sequence, we'll do a modified version of Flying Dragon. So there's a version of this where you really take it down to the floor and bear a lot of weight on your arms. We're going to do the hands-free version today. The right leg lifts, just like our last sequence, but this time your arms stretch up like dragon's wings. As you extend the leg back, you can float into a T shape for just a moment before you lower your foot down to the floor. The pelvis is low as you sweep your arms above head. Big inhale. Exhale, you reverse that action, reaching forward, bowing your forehead to the knee. Inhale, up again. This time you pivot all the way around to the other side and bow. Bring your body up and lower the back knee down. Make fists with your hands. Sorry, I'm not facing the front to show this. And unfurl the spine. Inhaling, exhale, squeeze your back as you draw the elbows down and stick your tongue out. Then look forward, your hands circle down and you transfer your weight to your front foot. One big step to stand up onto your right leg. You stay right there and circle both hands down to the left knee. Keep your left arm circling as the gaze follows. Then reverse that. The hands meet, arrive above head, and hands and feet touch the floor. Or come back to the center, sorry. Second side. I think it'll be easier to demonstrate with my mat square. Left leg. Sweep the arms to the side as the left leg lifts. And reach back, maybe floating before you land. Arms circle up. Reach forward, forehead to knee. They reach up and you pivot all the way around to the other side and you bow forehead to knee. Reach the body up. And you can use hands on knees or however you need, even hands to the floor to lower the knee down. Make fists as you unfurl the body from the bottom to the top. Exhale. Transfer your weight to the front foot. The hands circle down and up. And both hands find your knee. Keep your left arm circling. Reverse the circle. The hands unite, coming above head. And the foot touches the floor. Round two. Right leg. Land in your lunge. Circle it up. Reach it forward. Fly right to left from one side to the other, forehead to knee. Body up. Hips down. Make fists. Everything is clenched and then releases as you exhale. Transfer your weight to the front foot to stand. Arms come to the left leg. Keep your left arm circling. And return. One more time, arms lift. And you replace. Left leg floats up. And you land softly. Circle arms above head. Forehead to knee. Fly around the world. Forehead to knee. Arms up. Knee down. Dragon's breath, unfurl. Tongue out, exhale. Stand up. Hands to the left. Right knee, excuse me. Keep your right arm circling. Return. Arms up. And recover. We've talked about the hands and their connection to the space around you. We've talked about the chakra there. It's like an aperture that you can open, and it collects energy that travels through the body and lives here. Same thing for the feet too. As we do this next sequence, I invite you to think of your movement almost like calligraphy, brush strokes, with the hands connecting to imaginary three-dimensional paper around you. Yeah, let's work with that image. Right leg. Step it to a lunge. Circle up. Forward and down. All the way around. Forward and down. Up. Hips down. Unfurl. Explode. Stand up. Hand to knee. Circle. Reverse. One more time. Extend and regather. Second side. Land in a lunge. Circle up. Forward and down. All the way around. Forward and down. Circle up. Knee down. Unfurl from the bottom to the top. Stand up. Hands to knee. Open the body with a little twist. Return. Arms up. And recover. Reclaim your breath. Hands can be in front of the dantian. Maybe a sliver of space between your fingers. Visualize the filament of energy between your hands. Maybe try to picture a similar filament of energy between left and right hip, left and right shoulder, left and right ear, left and right knee. All right, the remainder of class will be on the floor with props. So I've pulled out 2 pillows, and I also have 2 blocks because I felt like I needed a lot of support today. We'll begin our first shape with legs extended. And this is a forward fold. You can allow there to be lots of space between your heel and your pelvis. Then set up your blocks or pillows, the props that you have, and you may discover you don't quite have enough. More is better than less. Set them up in a way that your whole upper body is supported. You might look to one side or the other. And we're here for a few minutes, many breaths. So choose a posture that is sustainable for you. And for today, I'll just remind you of the tenets of the yin part of practice. The yang part builds heat, stirs the energy of the body, and helps you direct the energy of the body in more meaningful ways, out of areas that are stuck or tense into areas that need rejuvenation. The yang part of the practice is more restorative for the body, still rejuvenating, but in a less vigorous way. And it's even more restorative for the mind. You find the shape of the pose and then resolve to stay. Resolve happened to be my theme last week prior to the events, and now resolve has to be a theme moving forward. But for today, I'm inviting you to listen. And on the theme of listening, I often do a lot of Dharma talks in the yin part of our practice. I'm choosing to refrain from that today. I think the wisdom of our bodies can tell us a lot. If you do notice your mind is overwhelmed with thought or just preoccupied with thought in a way that disenables you to listen to your body, consider the breath as a point of focus to organize your mental energy. When the many thoughts come, let the breath help you let go of them, keeping the mind clear. We're here for 5 to 7 more breaths. As you complete your next few breaths, gently prepare to come out of this shape. We'll go onto our belly So setting up the props as you need to support you, and we're taking the props into an inclined plane. So that might mean a pillow below and then one diagonally above. Another great way to set this up is with blocks, kind of creating an inclined plane for you. One block is tall and the other block is long, and then you can put your pillow on that. And then there's two ways to extend your spine. A little more intense is to do this from a prone position, belly down. It's somewhat like Sphinx. You can even move your belly up and then slide down, feeling this upward pull through the torso. The other version, and my props are kind of slippery, the other version is the opposite for the torso. Hips are on the floor, and you lay on your pillow. If you're on your back in the supine position, the legs can be open like butterfly or extended long. The palms can be down by the hips. As you start to take them out toward the side, or even up toward the ears or up to the diagonal in front of you, this becomes a little more intense through the chest. Remember to find a place that's sustainable for you. You might have entered a posture as I did and realized it wasn't quite right, so you'll make a little adjustment as needed. And then as you did in the first pose, settle in. Maybe begin with the body becoming still, and then the mind becoming still. In any yin shape, dull pain is generally okay. It's sharp sensations that we want to take note of and maybe avoid. But the dullness, as you remain in a posture, might increase in intensity, becoming more of a thrumming, more vibrant sensation. If you imagine the years it took to accumulate the tension from habits, just allow yourself a little extra time and grace to undo those habits. That's the dull ache, the resistance to undoing habitual tension. And as I did in our first shape, I'll diminish my cueing and talking so you can be with your breath and your body and listen for a few minutes. Five to 7 more rounds of breath here. As you prepare to come out of this pose, roll to one side, catching yourself on your elbow. Take a minute on this side. And as you're ready to sit up, you're welcome to. Any movement the body is calling for, I invite you to explore that. For the next shape, you may set up with the props and then realize you may not need them, but I'll guide you with the props so you know where we're going and you'll have them in the right place if you do need them. I'm going to cue this from my left side, so I'm beginning laying on my left side, and the pillow or prop is behind me, so when I do roll back, that pillow can be there to support my shoulder. The top leg slides forward, the bottom leg slides backward. So you're separated in the legs, and now you have a hand that's available to touch the front knee and a hand that's available to touch your back foot. And so this is the pose, cat chasing its tail. It's a light twist for the spine and an opening extension for the upper spine. Once you find your shape, you might realize that prop pillow that's behind you is unnecessary and you can slide it out of the way. This is more intense, but it might be available to you. You can look to the left, that's a little more accessible. Looking to the right makes this a bit more intense. And we're trying to find efficiency, so you don't have to hold on to the feet. You can just let the arms rest in that general position. Then find your place of stillness for the body and stillness for the mind. Enjoy 5 to 7 more breaths in this shape. Gently unwind. Returning to the side you began, taking a moment perhaps in the fetal position. If you are on the left side, the top side is taking over in this moment, and the right side is our solar side. Gently transition to your second side, and this might be a glacial crawl onto the belly and then over. You might adjust however you need, coming onto your second side. setting up your pillow behind you. Oh, there's one there for me already. So the pillow's behind your shoulder. Separate your knees. Top knee goes forward, bottom knee goes backward. And then recline. One hand finds the top knee, the other hand finds your foot. And listen to the body and listen to the mind. Maybe check in if there is self-talk happening. Well, I've been encouraging listening through our practice today. Self-talk inhibits the ability to listen or to quiet the mind. And if self-talk is very habituated, or you're one who might notice a monologue always running in your head, maybe replace that self-talk or inner monologue with a color, a rhythm, an image of a loved one. Or the focus of the breath. We'll take a few more breaths. Gently prepare to come out of this shape. Our final shape is Shavasana. So roll to probably your right side if it's your second side. It could be your left, that's okay. The top side energy takes over. Here it's your left or lunar side, the cooling side. And as we near the end of our time together, I'll invite you to take Shavasana. You might return to the pillow, laying on your back with the legs extended, or in butterfly, Baddha Konasana. The pillow can support your spine. Legs can extend, arms can extend, and there's openness through the body. Remain in this open state physically. Allow the mind to be quiet, and meditation will come to you. The breath can help be the thing, the tool that helps quiet the mind, so meditation can arrive. I invite you to stay here for 10 to 20 breaths. When you complete your breath rhythm, come out of Shavasana slowly and gently, returning from the meditative state to the wakeful state, and listening as you do so. Listening to your body when it gathers tension, as it does during this time of social, economic, and health distress. And then listen to the voices of others so we can move forward together. Thank you for joining today. Fortifying yourself makes you stronger for the work ahead. A mantra to close the practice, a mantra to Ganesh. Swasti prajabhya paripalayantam nagetyena marge namahi mahisha go brahmanebhya shubhamastamithyam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. One Om to close the practice. Inhale. Bow your head to meet your heart. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.